Have you ever wondered what is the best way to communicate a new idea to your team or someone you need to collaborate with? If so, today's learning snack is for you. I'm Jo Ilfeld, CEO and founder of Insight to Leadership. And recently I was talking with a returning client who had worked with several years ago. And she was saying that not most, hopefully, but one of the most useful things that you remembered from our coaching was this idea of hierarchy of communication. And recently I was talking today with another client and I brought up this hierarchy of communication. So I thought I would bring it up here as well. What I like to tell people is the most effective way to communicate an idea, a disagreement, something you need to discuss with someone, the best way to do it is face to face, sitting in the same physical room, reading body language, not just seeing from this part up, but really being together with someone energetically in the same space. That's the top priority. Given our world now with hybrid working and globally dispersed teams, that's not always possible. So second to that would be face-to-face virtual meeting. So you're in the same time with each other, you're looking at each other, you're spending time together, but it's not exactly the same as being in the same room. Next after that, in terms of effectiveness, is a phone call. After that, you end up with asynchronous communication. So the things about face-to-face meetings, video meetings, and telephone calls are that they're all happening synchronously. People can communicate together at the same time. People can respond to each other in real time. That gives you the best chance of having an effective communication where you can clear up any misunderstandings, repeat back what you're hearing, make sure that you're on the same page. That gives you the best chance for it. After that would be a video, if you're willing to send a video that someone can listen to, and or a voicemail. I know that nowadays not that many people actually check their voicemails, so voicemails might be less effective than just recording yourself on a video like this and sending it to someone. But what is nice about both a voicemail and a video message is that people can hear expressiveness in your voice. They can hear your emotion. What often gets lost when you go to the next level of email, Teams, Slack, IMs, text messages is that they're, despite the fact people use emojis, there really isn't emotion. And it's so easy for people to misread the tone in which you're sending things. I would say after those more expressive types of video or phone message, it would be email. And the reason I say email is better than text or IMs or Slack, etc., is because people can go back and reread emails. They can recheck them. They can come back to them a couple days later in a different mood and see, oh, okay, maybe they meant this, not what I initially thought. Whereas those type of one-time messages tend to get lost in the chat streams, the IM streams, etc. And people rarely go back and read the initial message, so they're left with their impression of it. Plus, the reality is, oftentimes in those streams, if someone's out of work for a day or a week on vacation, they never actually see that message. So if you're trying to get effective communications to your team with new information, what's happening, those kinds of things easily get lost in the fray. So one of the ideas that I came up with talking to my client today was that sometimes the way that you least want to do it is actually the best way to communicate. And what I mean by that is sometimes we don't want to take the time to schedule a meeting. We don't want to have to connect with someone live on a phone call and get them. We're like, let me just check, do an email and get it out the door. And while that seems like a great idea at the time, it's one of the least effective methods of communication. So what you're getting inconvenience, you might be losing in terms of the effectiveness of your message. So if you're resisting making the time to communicate something, that might be a signal to you that it's worth making the time to communicate it more effectively. I hope this learning snack has been helpful for you, and feel free to leave a comment below and let me know what you think is the most effective means of communication.